We're just doing things a little bit different here, just kind of shaking things up a little bit for you guys. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? I know that this is a live video, and I don't know if you guys even got told that I am live, but I'm going to go on my stuff, and I'm going to check it out myself to see what it looks like on here. But I know a lot of people are not being alerted that I'm live. So I'm going to take a little bit of time before I actually go deep into this to kick this thing off. Just trying to switch up sometimes how I film things, okay? So just want to let y'all know that. But it doesn't look like YouTube is letting any of you guys know that I am live right now, okay? Doesn't appear that way. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait to see if people are going to pop in here before I go deep into it. But while I'm doing all that, all you can do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. Make sure this video gets circulated within the YouTube algorithm and all that great stuff. I don't know why I have this microphone right here like I'm getting ready to use it or anything. I'm not. So give me a second though here. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Pookie Martinez? Long time no hear, Pookie. Long time no hear. Seems like other people are being alerted right now, but we'll see how the rest of this goes. We shall see. Who else is in the house? What's going on? Jill Vasquez says, hey, I see you. I see you too, but not really. Haven't seen you in Bloomington normal, brother. I'm all over the place. I might be in my Florida home right now. I got the alert. What's going on, Joel? Sweet. Settle down says live. Yep, this is live. Settle down. This is live. You guys all see the title? Yep, we're live. What's going on, folks? The Most High is in the house. That's bombastic. Whoopi, or rather Karen Elaine Johnson, is already paid for. Hello, all. Madrew Swanson is in the house. Is watching from California. Says in the clouds. All right, folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get into this. I'm just trying to allow some time. I guess I must sound pretty good to you guys since everybody seems to be able to hear me pretty good. So if y'all do not know, Whoopi Goldberg was on The View and they got to talking, and she had the nerves out of her mouth to say that the GOP wants to bring back slavery. Bring back slavery. This is what she's saying. They want to bring back slavery. So, sad part about all that is I would hope that, no, I wouldn't. I was going to say I would hope that Whoopi Goldberg knew her history. Because if she did, she wouldn't have made that statement ignorantly. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of you in here right now that would, there are a lot of you in here right now that would say maybe she did it on purpose just to stir things up. We don't know. The View's Whoopi Goldberg declares Republicans want to bring back slavery following the Arizona near total abortion ban. So because it was the Roe v. Wade stuff that happened, because of what happened in Arizona with the judge pretty much almost annihilating all freaking abortions, she claims that then the Republicans are going to try to be on this strategy where they want to bring back slavery. The issue that I have with that is the fact that she said back slavery. What do you mean bring slavery back, as if it was the Republicans that wanted it in the first place? Stop for a second. We'll get back to that. The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg declared on Wednesday that some Republicans would like to bring back slavery, coming back from the Arizona Supreme Court reinstating the 1864 near total abortion ban. The Arizona Supreme Court ruling has sparked intense debate within the state, and outside of the law provides no exceptions for abortions except to save the life of the mother. Arizona is saying the only way you're going to have an abortion is to save the life of the mother. But they also have it in there, fine print, folks, that people don't tell y'all about. They also have it in there that if there's incest or rape, things of the sort, they also have it in there that way that can be a reason why someone would get an abortion. It all can also depends on how long or how late in the pregnancy the person is. So on Wednesday, the View Whoopi Goldberg questioned what else people who support the abortion ban could end up supporting. Co-host Alyssa Farrah Griffin called the ruling a big win for the Democrats and argued most elected Republicans are out of step on the issue of abortion. Arizona's Kari Lake, who was running for the U.S. Senate, broke with most Republicans and came out against the law. A lot of elected Republicans are completely out of step with the sentiment of the country because we've seen in Kansas, a very red state, Ohio, Kentucky, Republicans turned out to protect access to abortion. So this is a big win for Democrats, Griffin argued. Now, Goldberg asked what comes next after such a sweeping ban on abortion in Arizona. That's what she says. She says, to me, if you're okay rolling back when things were not even a state, when we had no say, when she said on the video, she said when we had no say, she pointed at herself like when we had no say, as in when black people had no say. She said when we had no say, so how's that going to roll? How's that going to roll, she said. What's the next thing, she said, because you know, with all this comes birth control, with all this comes everything that you need as a woman to have had put in place to make sure that we are doing better than we ever have before. So she's up here claiming that the GOP party wants to bring back slavery. So are we forgetting that it was which party that wanted to end slavery? Are we forgetting what party wanted to end slavery? So the Republicans are the ones that ended slavery. Republicans, Abraham Lincoln came together. They all came together, abolitionists. They wanted to end slavery. The Democrats did not want to end slavery. Not at all. The Republicans also wanted the civil rights for black people. The Democrats did not want civil rights for black people. A lot of this stuff that they're even talking about right now, it makes absolutely no sense, folks, because what sense does it make for me to fight for a party to want to free the slaves, then later on down the road saying, that's what I'm saying, it doesn't make sense to say go back to slavery. What do you mean GOP wants to bring back slavery when they're the ones that wanted to get rid of it? That absolutely doesn't even make sense. Now, some of you can argue, you can say things like, well, Ty, I get what she's saying because the party switched. So since the new party of the Republicans are technically Democrats, that's how they want to bring back. Come on now, the parties did not switch. They did not switch at all. How is it? Okay. I'm not even going to go that deep into it. But the problem that you have with this is that the fact that white people, I always say this, and I don't care about people getting mad when I say this. White people were willing to kill other white people so that black people can be free. And now all of a sudden, these white people in 2024 want to say, hey, you know what? Perhaps we had it wrong. Perhaps perhaps our ancestors, the white people, ancestors, maybe they had it wrong. And now the new people of today, maybe they're saying to themselves, you know what? Our ancestors might have had this wrong. Perhaps we should have kept slavery there. So we need to go and bring this back. Let's go and bring back slavery. That's some of the dumbest stuff in the world. You know for a fact that we all can say this right now. There is no way that that's going to happen again. You want to know why? And this is going to make a lot of people mad. Black people, you want to know why? You want to know why slavery would never happen again in America? For one, we can't have it anyway because it's against the law. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that what Whoopi Goldberg is talking about, let's just say for the sake of the argument, they try to bring back slavery. Black people, hold on, because some of y'all are like, no, there's a whole lot of more of us now. We got guns. We got this. Let me tell you something right now, and this will make a lot of black people pissed. There is nothing you can do, Negroes. There is nothing you would be able to do, black people, if they tried to initiate and bring back slavery today. There would be nothing you can do, black people. Yeah, we can. We gonna die is what's gonna happen. Every last one of us, black people, we will get annihilated easily by all the white people. Keep it real. So guess what would happen though? Guess why slavery would not happen? Guess why it wouldn't happen? Because the majority of the white people, I would bet you this. I might be a little optimistic with what I'm getting ready to say, but I bet you over 90% of all the white people in America would be like, absolutely 100% no. I guarantee you your money back that this is me. I'm saying this. I bet you over 90% of all white people would be like, absolutely not. And yes, whoever wants to bring slavery is getting ready to die. Yes, it would not happen, folks. And you know what would be really interesting? Let's keep it real. What would be really interesting is if that actually was something, that was brought up, if that was something that was brought up and they had to vote on it, and then black people would be able to see exactly, how white people feel about this. And their whole minds would be completely changed because they would see that nobody wants no slavery. But no, all white people are racist. Everybody, no, that's what I'm saying. So no, overwhelmingly, the reason why slavery would not happen again, even if that was something that they tried, like I said, hypothetically speaking, even if that was something that they tried to implement in today's world, they tried to bring back slavery. Guess who's going to save slavery from happening again? White people. Yeah, black folks, white people would keep slavery from happening again if they tried to vote on that. And there would be nothing you can get mad. I don't care what you say. We got guns, we got gangs, we got thugs, we got criminals, we got degenerates. You can say all you want to. Black people can come together and unite like they never had before against slavery and can still get wiped out of the United States if white people were to call. If there was a button, that can be clicked to turn all white people against black people, there will be nothing we could do. Nothing. There will be nothing you can do to stop all the white people in America from completely annihilating you. So the only reason why, again, it will not happen is because in my opinion, over 90%, I'm talking like, when I say over 90%, I'm talking like maybe 95, 96, 97 plus percent, 95 to 97% of all white people in the United States right now would be completely against it and would say, yeah, we're going to go to war over this again and we will die for this again. No way it's going to happen. And notice I said all white people. I'm talking about Democrats and I'm talking about Republicans as well. On both sides, all of them will be like, that's absolutely ridiculous. We're not even going to talk about this. We're not even going to discuss this. That won't even be a thing. That will never happen. So for Whoopi Goldberg to make such a stupid statement like that, to say that the GOP wants to bring back slavery because of the abortion argument, your comeback example of them rolling back something, saying Walmart, they roll back something, and your conclusion out of that is they're going to try to implement slavery in America again. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely stupid, absolutely ignorant. And again, to those of you that don't know it, go and read and find out who it was that fought to free black people. Go back, it was the Republicans. Go back and read who fought to keep black people in slavery, because you'll find out it wasn't just white people. Negroes that had slaves in the South, you fought to keep your slaves as well, Negroes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Say it again? Black people that are watching, if you even watch this, black people, whenever slavery was on the table during the Civil War, guess who fought in the South against the North so they could keep their slaves? Black people did too. Because Negroes, you were owned by black people too. They ain't gonna tell y'all about the Indians that had slaves, black slaves too. Y'all, it's so amazing all the time that when we get on subjects like this, a lot of black people, you guys have no animosity. You have no story. You have no freaking Black Lives Matter. You have no marches. You have no protests for the Indians that were able to keep slaves after slavery ended. Y'all have no smoke for the Indians. Well, that's because they was almost wiped out by the white man too. No, bull crap. Everything that was going on during that period, everybody was about conquering each other. When you conquer somebody, they became your slave or your prisoner of war, blah, 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 blah. We all know this. My point is that when slavery ended in America, why is it that the Native Americans, the indigenous people, they were able to keep the black butts? But y'all don't have no problem with that. Because all we focus on is what the white man did. The white man sinned. The white man sinned. Indians did it too. Indians enslaved Jew Negroes. Indians enslaved other Indians. Indians enslaved even some white people. White people enslaved you Negroes. White people enslaved the white people. Yes, they did. White people enslaved Indians. Black people. I'm sorry, but the only people y'all were able to enslave was other black people. And you did it. But they keep that part of history out of the books. They keep that part of history out of the books. Why? Because they only want to paint a narrative of slaves only ever being. I promise you guys, I'm not making this up. I was in my late 30s, and the ones that's been on my channel for a long time, you guys all were with me. You remember I told y'all guys I don't care about politics. I don't get into politics. I don't care. It wasn't until you guys, these people came into our church trying to stir up some stuff. Then I decided to go and do my research. It's a shame, and I'm just keeping it real. It's a shame that I was well into my 30s. I was well into my 30s until I found out that all these people own slaves. The only thing I knew about slavery was white people owning black people. Want to know why? I was only taught that. I was indoctrinated into that. I didn't know that black people that look just like me owned slaves. Nobody told us that. They didn't teach that in school. Why? I didn't know that white people enslaved other white people. I didn't know that black people enslaved other black people. I didn't know that black people overwhelmingly sold black people to white people. I didn't know any of that. Why don't they teach that in school? Huh? That's the problem that a lot of folks are having with Governor DeSantis right now, huh? Y'all, oh yeah, they pissed off at Governor DeSantis in Florida. He's trying to get rid of black history. No, he ain't. No, he is not. Governor DeSantis, if you live here in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. In Florida, Governor DeSantis is saying we teaching all of it. Go look it up. Don't believe me. Y'all believe all this dumb stuff they're putting out here on the news like Governor DeSantis is just trying to erase black history. He said no. He said when we teach about American history, we're talking about how everybody was enslaved. White people were enslaved, Indians were enslaved, black people were enslaved. But if they had it their way, they want to paint this picture like white people just came to America, start barbarian, killing everybody, wiping everybody out. No, absolutely not. The world at that time was all about conquering. It was all about if they came to war and you lost, you became a prisoner of war. And when you became a prisoner, you became their slave. They did one of two things. You stayed working as a slave or they sold you to other tribes or other villages or other people. Everybody was doing it. So you need to ask yourself, why is America trying to paint this picture like white people were the only ones that ever did? They make it like white people were the only ones that ever had slaves. White people were the only ones that had slaves in the whole wide world. They colonized everybody. Bull crap. Absolute bull crap. So again, what you need to do is focus on the schools that are allowing certain books to be pushed through, to go through the school board, to make it to the classrooms where it's only painting a narrative displaying white people only enslaving black people, when that is not the entire truth at all. It's not the entire truth at all. Did you know that one of George Washington's right-hand man was a black guy? Did you know that? Oh yeah, the first president. Everybody had slaves. Did you know that? Did you know that out of all the forefathers that they lie to y'all and tell you all of them were racist, all of them had slaves? So out of the 56 some odd forefathers, I think 10 or 15 of them owned slaves. They make it seem like all of them did. And as soon as they arrived over here, there were some that the minute they got over here, they was like, hey, we need to start doing away with this. Nobody talks about things. They don't talk about that, do they? They don't talk about how a lot of the forefathers came over here and immediately wanted to get rid of slavery, do they? They don't talk about that, do they? No. Why? They only want to paint in there. Benjamin Franklin, y'all, it's so amazing, man. Benjamin Franklin them had slaves. Thomas Jefferson them had slaves. And the only thing they can think of is what they know. Absolutely, they painting this picture wrong. Go read their memoirs. Go read their bibliographies of what people like Thomas Jefferson or Benjamin Franklin. Go read what they wrote about the time of slavery. Go read it. Go read how a lot of our forefathers on this freaking continent here, they wanted to free you, but it was the people over in Britain, the king of Britain, that said nope, nope, nope. They don't tell y'all that. Why? They want you to stay angry. They want you to stay mad. They want you to stay ignorant. Stay ignorant. Stay ignorant to the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Only listen to what we tell you in school. Only look at white people as being the evil, bad people. And look at black people as always being, victims. That's what they want you to do. Look at black people for only, black people, the only thing we were good for is being victims. Let me see something here. Because I got some stuff. Look at this right here. See that? This is Mr. Armistead. The Battle of Yorktown ensued, and Cornwallis, without the extra troops or the Navy to rescue and remove his own troops, finally surrendered. Armistead's crucial information helped bring victorious end to the war for independence. A black man. Huh? Look him up. James Armistead. The dude was like the first, I think he was like the first double agent. They don't talk about black people like that during that time, do they? Why? Why? Because they only want you to think that when we first came over into America, they only want you to think that all black people ever were slaves. They don't talk about Lemuel Haynes. They don't talk about Hoosier. They don't talk about none of this. Why? James Armistead. James Armistead was America's first double spy. Wentworth Cheswell, who in 1768 was elected to office in New Hampshire, being re-elected for 49 years during the Revolution, he made a Paul Revere-like ride to warn the Patriots. Why don't they talk about that? 1768, isn't that when every black person here was a slave? Apparently not. Prince Wimple, who accompanied George Washington in the legendary Christmas Day crossing of the Delaware. He is believed to be the man on the oar of the front of Washington's boat of the famous painting Washington Crossing. A black man. Huh? A black man? Why? I thought Washington only had slaves. That's all they were good for, was being beaten, whipped, and all that. Okay? Salem Poor, a decorated soldier in the Battle of Bunker Hill, who also fought at Saratoga and Monmouth and endured a devastating winter at Valley Forge. Crispus Attucks, who resisted the British and became one of the first fatalities of the Boston Massacre. Peter Salem, another decorated hero from the Battle of Bunker Hill. Prince Estabrook, a Minuteman wounded in Lexington. Jack Prince Sison, who played a key part in daring the dramatic secret mission that set precedents for today's Special Forces operation. So a black person has something to do with them formulating special forces to where we actually have special forces today. They don't talk about that. And what about that school in Indiana called Hoosier? A black man. He was a preacher. He ran around preaching and teaching, having to get caught by an Indian tribe, right? Well, no, he made friends with an Indian. Hoosier, read on this, y'all. There's some very interesting stuff. Y'all know the Indiana Hoosiers? That college is named after a black man. But everything is, and this was before there was a such thing as Hoosier was before all this other crazy stuff even happened, ladies and gentlemen. What are you talking about, Tom? How we had racism, civil rights movement. Look up Hoosier. Don't believe me. Look up Hoosier for Indiana. He was a young man going around preaching. He and an Indian hit it off really well. He wanted to go visit this Indian tribe. The Indian told him that wouldn't be a good idea. Hoosier wanted to go anyway. Hoosier go there and instantly got not handcuffed, but he got pretty much handcuffed, thrown in the tent. They was negotiating his death. He was in the tent praying to God. The Indians who believed in all kind of stuff, they's trying to figure out. The chief is like, hey, who is he in there talking to? Who is he in there talking to? They go in there, who are you talking to? He's like, I'm talking to God. They're looking around like there's nobody in here. He's like, I'm talking to God. So it ended up getting to a point where the dude prayed so much that Indians them didn't know what to do. They ended up letting him go. And not only that, Hoosier helped He stayed with them and helped lead them to some battles. Who would have thought? A black man? A black man during slavery? So then, because of his gospel, and people listened to Hoosier so much, when he went around and preached, the way that he preached, the way that he talked, his boldness, a lot of other white people began to talk like Hoosier did. So guess what people start saying to them? Oh, y'all must be one of them Hoosiers. Why? Because of the way he preached. Lemuel Haynes, he was a preacher too. He preached in predominantly white churches during slavery, people. But they don't. Why do they keep that information from us? Why? Oh, they don't want to show you that slavery was a small part of what was going on in America versus the majority. They don't want to show you that, do they? They don't want to show you that it was looked at. See, that's what I'm saying. They don't want to show you that. It's a reason why, because they want to keep you pissed off. They want to keep you mad. So for any black person out there that says things like we were slaves and white people, well, can you answer me this, black people? How do you know it wasn't the black people of the South that had y'all in slavery? How do you know it wasn't descendants of Anthony Johnson, who was the first person to have a documented slave? How do you know you weren't descendants of the people from the plantation of Anthony B. Johnson? Huh? How do you know you wanted? How do you know that? So if you want to sit there and get pissed off about, oh, white people enslaved black people, no, they didn't. It wasn't just white people. Black people did it too. So how do you know which plantation you descended from? How do you know you didn't descend from a black plantation? How do you know if you're not a descendant of all the black people that stayed up north? How do you know that? How do you know, black people, that you weren't a descendant of black people from up north who never saw slavery, who never experienced slavery? For you to sit here today and be pissed off about what happened to black people back then. You don't even know what tribe you came from to be making that. You don't know what tribe you came from to be saying that. That's why it's such a stupid thing right now to even talk about and argue over. Personally, we have some stipulations with some of the schools that I mentor my young people with, right? We don't allow them to teach certain parts of history. I believe that when it comes to slavery and things like that, that doesn't need to be taught until they are out of high school. And I have my reasons. Because you don't have a chance to try to indoctrinate them. There's a reason why I don't want our young people knowing about slavery, learning about slavery at all until they get out of high school. I'm going to tell you why, because it's irrelevant to what they need to be doing to accomplish their goals and what they want to do in this life. But if you come with this slave rhetoric, when you come with this narrative to try to paint white people bad and black people always been victims, all of a sudden you don't have a society of a bunch of people thriving to be doctors, lawyers, and being CEOs, entrepreneurs, getting jobs in trades. No, now you want to create a bunch of activists. And here's the thing. They do it to both sides. Why do they want to try to pick a significant time in these kids' life? They want to bring up slavery and everything like that. Why? They want to paint a narrative. So the reason why I believe that no one that go through grade school needs to learn about slavery or learn about the history or anything like that until they get out is so that they can understand it as an older person, instead of being somebody that can be completely indoctrinated and driven by the perspective that those schools want to give them. And that's to paint all white people bad and all black people being the receiving of them white bad people. And what it makes them get pissed off, it makes them get mad. And now all of a sudden you have what you have today. A lot of black people who don't do nothing more than go around these white people, what they did to us. All these white people, oh, the white man, of course. But if you were never told that, ever, you wouldn't be able to say that. Want me to tell you how I know this is true? My mentees, some of my nieces and nephews, and my own sons, none of that ever comes out of their mouth. They'll say to me, like, what do you mean? Like, my sons were older, they were like, Dad, what do you mean by slavery? Like, what happened? And I tell them what happened. They'll be like, oh, wow, that happened in America? Yeah. See what I'm saying? But while they were growing up, okay, shout out to Centerman with the $5 super chat, said it's all divisionary and to keep people racist, keep people into a woke mindset. Absolutely true. So my sons didn't know anything about slavery until they were like almost 18 years old. They didn't know anything about no god dang on white people bringing us over into because I opted them out. Nope, you're not teaching my sons them that. Nope. Some of my nieces and nephews, you're not teaching them that. My mentees, you're not teaching them that because y'all painted in one picture. So guess what? My nieces and nephews, my mentees, my sons, the fact that they weren't taught that, they went through life they don't even know what the heck people are talking about when people try to bring that stuff up. Then when we teach them about the whole history, starting with the world, starting with Indians had their own people enslaved. White people had their own people enslaved called Slavs. Chinese had their people enslaved. Black people had their people enslaved. So now when they all came together, they traded amongst people. Black people traded to some white people, and white people brought them over to America. And some of them went to Portuguese, some of them went to Denmark, some of them went here, some of them went there. But majority of the slaves during the transatlantic slave trade, they went to Portugal. And about 1 to 2% of all the slaves during the transatlantic slave trade went to America. And some of the slaves in the South, they became slave owners themselves. Some of the black people up in the North, they had a program pretty much called the indentured servitude. They sponsored for other black people to come over, work out their indentured servitude, get land, and rinse and repeat. Down in the South, the way that white people treated black slaves was the same way that black people treated black slaves down there. See, when you paint that picture like that, what makes a lot of black people get pissed off is that you realize you're not all that special. Then you get mad at me because I'm breaking this down to you like this. Don't get mad at me. That's the truth of the matter. You will find out and see that you're not all that special. They don't tell you about that whenever the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and everything was being written, that a lot of our forefathers went to all sorts of people. They mainly went to a lot of white ministers and a lot of black ministers to formulate this document that's the foundation of America. But they don't tell y'all that. They make it seem like, oh, a bunch of white men all got in the room and they, No, they don't tell y'all that white men, the forefathers that signed the Declaration of Independence, a lot of them went to white ministers and preachers. They went to black ministers and preachers to bring all of this together. And they fasted and they prayed. They don't tell y'all that, do you? I want to tell you why, because it shows a sense of unity. I know what I'm talking about. Don't believe me. Go look up and read and research your history. Don't go on Google, because Google gonna get you a whole bunch of bull crap. I promise y'all, go to a library. Go to a library. Matter of fact, you can go to Wall Builders. This book that I have right here, The American History, The American Story. Go look it up. There's all kind of books I have in here right now. False Black Power by Jason Rowley. Go look this stuff up. Thomas Sowell book. They expect y'all not to go and research. They expect you guys not to go and read. Centerman with the $5 super chat again said, all of it is designed to keep the trade going so they can make more money by keeping people from paying attention. That's 100% true. 100% true. They didn't want to sit there and make it seem like that this is what this is what I'm saying, that all of this was just built. Y'all, for one, you giving too much credit to white people. When you got the forefathers writing in their bibliographies or their memoirs, when the forefathers are saying, hey, we went to some black ministers and preachers to get advice on formulating this document. We let them know that us trying to get this Declaration of Independence, we all can be killed over this. Y'all know that was treason what they was doing in America, right? You know all those forefathers who was trying to get the independence, they could have been killed. And right from the beginning, Benjamin Franklin, them, all of them were trying to end slavery. They were trying to end it. Wait. Oh, y'all thought I was joking? Sam M says soul color is not skin color. (1804), black man, Lemuel Haynes, the first black man to receive a degree of higher education in America. 1804. 1804. Lemuel Haynes, the first black man to receive a degree of higher education? Wait, what? This man preached and ministered to people, and the church that he preached at all over was predominantly white? I thought that all black people were doing was being in chains and being beaten with. I know. William Carney, look, I got it right here. I know they're not. I know they're not going to show you this. Pookie Martinez says William Federer and David Barton, master historians, 100%. And they can't argue against David Barton because they got original documents. Let me see something here. So, says Benjamin Franklin them all were nothing more but a bunch of racist slave holders and all that, which they paint this picture of them out to be. 1774, Benjamin Franklin and Benjamin Rush founded America's first anti-slavery society. Y'all, did you hear that? I know they're not. I know that. I know they're not going to tell y'all this. 1774, Benjamin Franklin and Benjamin Rush founded America's first anti-slavery society. I know. Yeah, we're gonna keep, I'm gonna drop a few. I'm gonna drop some more stuff on here. George Mason says, as much as I value a union of all states, I would not admit to the southern states. He said, I would not admit the southern states into a union unless they agree to discontinue this disgraceful slave trade. Why are we being told this in school? That a lot of these forefathers are saying things like this. Huh? I know it. I know. John Adams. He said, my opinion against slavery has always been known. Never did I ever own a slave. John Adams? But guess what they tell black people? All of them had slaves. John Adams said, never have I ever owned a slave. This is John Adams. Charles Carroll, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, he said, why keep slavery alive? It is admitted by all to be a great evil. Who? Charles Carroll, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He said, why keep the question of slavery? He said, it is admitted by everybody that slavery is a great evil. But all these white people just want to keep black. They don't tell you this. This is one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Oh, but the Declaration of Independence was only did for only benefit of white people. These people that wanted to sign, these people that signed the Declaration of Independence, when all of them are here saying things like we want to end slavery, we're going to be fighting to end slavery, but y'all are being told that the Declaration of Independence is because the white people wanted to keep slavery going. They're sitting there saying they wanted to get rid of it. I know they don't tell y'all this because they want to keep you in the dark. They want to keep you ignorant. They want to keep black people pissed off. And white people, they want to keep y'all guilty. Sad thing is, you're asking people to use their head when we place yellow paint everywhere for people to understand things easier. Centerman, shout out again for the super chat there. Oh, yeah, I'm going to keep on going. John Quincy Adams, and written by several people back at that time, John Quincy Adams was known as the hellhound of abolition regarding slavery. While Jefferson himself had introduced a bill, notice this? Jefferson himself introduced a bill to end slavery. 6, not all of the Southern founders were opposed to slavery. According to the testimony of the Virginians, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson, it was the founders from North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia who mostly strongly favored slavery. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. They strongly favored slavery. I thought the whole United States did. I know, y'all. Some folks are getting pissed off that I'm bringing this to their attention. So, Thomas Jefferson, who was a racist slave owner, he wrote the king. Thomas Jefferson said this. He said, King George has waged, look, Thomas Jefferson said, King George has waged a cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of distant people who never offended him. I'm gonna break this down and paraphrase it. He said King George, Thomas Jefferson said King George pretty much has committed a great wrong. He is waging war against people that never offended him. In other words, these people are not captives of war. Okay? So he's saying if they're not captives of war, why are you capturing them and using them as slaves? This is what Thomas Jefferson is writing to the king. He said, determined to keep an open market where men should be bought and sold, he has prostituted his negative for suppressing every legislative attempt to prohibit, to restrain his accessible commerce that is opposed to the efforts to prohibit the slave trade. King George was not trying to end slavery because it was money in it, while Thomas Jefferson and them saying this is wrong, we don't need to be doing this anymore. Oh, but school, that's why they try to get you early in elementary school and in middle school. Oh, but school would have you to where everybody was in, all the white people just wanted black people to be in slavery. They don't tell you all this. I'm gonna read a few more things before I get out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like button while y'all in here. Hit that like button for me while y'all in here. Do y'all think that Whoopi Goldberg, do you think that she really said it? Do you think that Whoopi Goldberg is being coerced by, do you think she's being coerced by The View and everything to say stupid stuff like this? Do y'all think it's part of their whole, you think it's part of the whole narrative that The View wanted to paint for Whoopi Goldberg to say such stupid stuff like this? Let me see something. Here, check this out. The reason that Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa all prohibited slavery was a congressional act authored by Constitution signer Rufus King XXXVI and signed into law. It was signed into law by George Washington. Hear me again. The reason that Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa all prohibited slavery was because of the congressional act authored by the Constitution signer. Wait, the white people that did the Constitution only made the Constitution to benefit white people, but these same white people who signed the Constitution wanted to end the slave. They were ending slavery. They said, we're not going to have slavery. And George Washington said, cool, I'm going to sign off on it. George Washington signs off on it, which prohibited slavery in those territories. It is not surprising that Washington would sign such a law, for it was he who declared, George Washington declared, I can only say that there is not a man living who wishes more sincerely than I do to see a plan adopted for the abolition of slavery. George Washington said, I don't know a man alive that want to see slavery end more than what I do. George Washington, the first president, the one y'all all saying, all of them were racist. All of them just, come on, man. They don't tell y'all this. It's a reason. Trying to see if I got some more points I can throw out in here from people like Thomas Jefferson. And in case people want to say that, there it is. I mean, it's so much material that you can go through and that you guys can all read. I would recommend, I highly would recommend, if you want a lot of your historical facts, I would highly recommend that you go on to Wall Builders. They got so much documents, and there's no art. A lot of the things they have in there, there's no arguing it because they have original documents. They have a wait. Somebody said there's no like button. There's not a thumbs up button showing. That's crazy. But there's no. Roland says Chicago native tapping in. What's going on? I said I know you didn't get that from CPS. No, there's wall builders. They have original documents. You can't argue if somebody shows you a document that was written by George Washington or written by Benjamin Franklin or written by Quincy Adams or John F. Dickman. If somebody shows you a document that's written by them, how are you going to argue and say, what's your source? What's your citing? You can't argue that. They're getting it straight from the source. And like I told y'all, there's I got this booklet I have right here, y'all. I got booklets. I got stuff written up and shown up that shows so much enriching information that it changes your whole perspective on how you see America. So that's why a lot of times I don't, unless somebody wants to know, I'm not about to go back and forth and argue with people when you find out the truth that it had nothing, man, people get so pissed when I say this, it had nothing to do with how they painted this whole nation out to be. They making it seem like it's always founded on racism. No, it was not, because everybody was being enslaved. So that already kills that argument right there. But they don't want that. They want to keep it going. Yes, it was. How come black people? It wasn't just your black butts. Indians, y'all were slaves. White people, y'all were slaves too. Yeah, but we doesn't matter. Black people, y'all had slaves too. Your slaves were black people. See, there are people that really do understand this, and what they do, they move on. And you know what? It's sad that I even have to say this. There is really no moving on. You're not moving on from nothing. It's so amazing. I can sit here and tell some of the people that like to argue this. I say this to them. I say, what if I told you that your grandfather, or better yet, black people, what if I told you that your great-grandfather was a murderer? Your great-grandfather fathered many kids all across the state. You're going to be just like him. What if I told y'all that, black people? What would you say? I can tell you what, I'm nothing. How my own father was, I'm nothing like that at all. But what if somebody was to tell me, Ty, you're going to have a bunch of bastardly kids, Ty? Why is that? Because your daddy did. What that got to do with me? Well, it's inherently in you. What if I was to tell black people, black young men, what if I was to tell you, y'all going to have black young men, you're going to have a lot of baby mamas. Black men, all of you guys are going to have baby mamas. Black men, y'all going to have gold teeth in your mouth. Black men, all of y'all going to have dreads. Black men, all of you guys going to sag your pants. Black men, y'all all, this is all y'all going to do. Y'all going to have a bunch of hoes. Y'all going to have a bunch of tricks. Black men, this is what all y'all gonna do. And then I say black women, all you're gonna do is have kids, black women. You're gonna have multiple baby daddies, black women. That's what y'all gonna do. Black women, all of y'all gonna be on food stamps, black women. All of y'all, black women, it's in your DNA. It's in your DNA not to get married, black women. What if I was to push that narrative? Y'all, I would have black people pissed off so crazy at me. Bro, you can't sit there and say, then why do you do it to white people? Oh, y'all white ancestors, they were racist, so y'all are inherently racist. And what? But y'all got no smoke for black folks. I'm talking about, look, we don't even got to go back just to your great-grandfather. And if a lot of us don't have our fathers in the home, start with your father, black people. You're going to be just like your daddy, black people. If your father was not in your house and you're listening to me right now, you're going to be just like your father. Hang it up. There's no chance in hell for you. You're going to be a man that had bastardly children. White people, same for y'all. White people, if you did not have your father in the home, you're going to be somebody that's going to have kids without the father too. It's in your DNA. It's inherited. You inherited that from your father. You're going to be just like him. See, when you do things like that, you make it seem like people don't have a freaking brain, like they can't think. You don't have to repeat and do what somebody in the past did. And that's evident today, because who do you see in America that's slaves? Well, I can tell y'all something. Y'all, I mean, slavery do go on today. Y'all do know that. There is slavery in America. It's called the southern border. I'm just keeping it real. There is trafficking going on right now. It's not legal, but it's going on. Human trafficking is going on in the United States, and it's not legal. They are. Oh, don't believe me. There is a movie that if I say the movie name right now, YouTube gonna go crazy. But there is human trafficking going on right now. That's a form of slavery. They're being sold. They're being used. They're being sexually assaulted. They're being handed off to different people. They're being shipped here and shipped there. It goes on. Why do you think our borders are open? I know what I'm talking about. And then over in other countries right now, there's still legit slavery right now. So if slavery is wrong, and you pissed off about slavery right here today, go and fight for the current slaves right now. You won't, because you really don't mean it. You're just moving off of fake, false pretense and fake virtue signaling is all you're moving off of. That's all. You're moving off of raw emotions. That's all you're moving off of. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You better take advantage of the opportunities that's in America right now. You better take advantage of it right now, because guess what? To be quite frank with you, the people, black people, if y'all are in here, the people that y'all are crying to about what they did to our ancestors, the people y'all crying to about we need our cut, we need our reparations, they don't care. They don't care. They're going to act like they care. Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to bring that on the table. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Reparations, we need to talk about that. Yeah, that's why if you vote for me, I will fight for you, the black people. I'll fight for you. They get in office, they don't give a care about you. You want to know why? They know that you're not going to get it. It's just going to be a continuously talking point. You're not going to get it. I'm not going to be wrong on this. Black people, you are not going to get reparations. I'm trying to make this as crystal clear as possible. You're not going to get it. And if you go ahead and accept the fact that you're not going to get it, move on. And there's really nothing you're moving on from, because no black person today felt the effects of slavery. Don't buy into that bull. What do you mean? Oh, every black person feel the effects of oppression. It's how? I went through 2 different medical programs. How is it? I'm not feeling the effects of any. You know what I got graded off of? My work. I got graded off my work. I had to study. I had to do residency. I had to do clinicals. That's where my grade came from. When you go and do a clinical, you have a clinical instructor. You have a head resident, right? And when you have one of them, they grade your work. They grade how well you did when you go on your clinicals. They are the ones that grade that. No, man. See, I heard bull crap. Keep on staying there and talking about how we built this nation. Black people, okay, since y'all want to have that argument, if white people are inherently racist and white people have all this racism in their DNA, if black people built this country, Negroes, how come we don't have no goddamn building cells in our bodies to where we still building? How come? See, people get pissed off when I do that. We built this country. We built all of the White House. We built all the monuments around this country. So if this so-called thing is still in our DNA, why have we stopped, black people? Shouldn't we be inherently carpenters, inherently architects? Why aren't we still doing it if it's inherently in us? Don't fall for the dumb stuff. But you will believe that all white people have inherited racist DNA flowing through their blood to where it's like they can't help. They all like white people walking around getting ready to drop the N-bomb. They can't help because it's in their DNA. They're going. I'm trying to keep my racism. White people walking around. I'm trying to keep my racism in. Every time I see I gotta say colored. Say colored. Because if I don't say color, there's a don't nobody go around doing nothing like that. Because when you do things like that, what you're trying to say is that you have no control over your mind. You have no control over your decision making. You are nothing more than an animal that's going to do what other animals do. You're not unique. You're not different. You're not special. You are just like every other person. Therefore, stay being ignorant, stay being dumb, stay being stupid. Don't research. Listen to what somebody else says that you should do because they know better for you. Stay in the ghetto, stay in the projects, stay in the hood, stay in the trailer parks, Stay in the upgraded trailer park that they call a mobile home society. Stay there, but don't ever get out and try to be independent and do anything on your own. I'm talking to white people and black people because it's all a mindset that they're speaking to. It's all a mindset that they're speaking to. You are not going to be any better because you're an inherited victim, and that's what they're teaching black people. Black people, you're being taught that you're nothing more than an inherited victim. White people, y'all are being taught that y'all inherited racism, y'all inherited white privilege, although I just showed y'all small little nuggets from our forefathers, signers of the Declaration of Independence, signers of the Constitution. I just showed y'all how they were all saying we want to get rid of slavery while they were putting the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence together. And you're being told that they only did that to benefit white people. And that's why, for the ones who think I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to critical race theory, that it makes no sense, because critical race theory states that all the systems that are in place were built by white people for white people for the benefit of nobody else but white people. But it makes no sense, because while the Constitution was being formulated, it was for everyone. Well, there was a racist man that wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Oh my God. What does it say at the end of our thing? With liberty and justice for all. If they were so racist when they wrote, they would say indivisible, with liberty and justice for white people. But it don't say that. It says justice for all. What I just got done showing you guys, what our forefathers was putting together when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, they wrote that with everybody in mind. They wanted to abolish slavery right from the beginning. They did not agree with it. But God dang it, if you listen to what they tell you on the news and TV and school, they're going to have it out there like all our forefathers. That's all they wanted. And again, of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, only 15 had slaves. So what does that say about the other ones? Anyway, folks, make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all get out of here. I got one more super chat to read right here from Sandy M, who says, thank you for the truth. No, I appreciate you guys all taking your time out to listen to me talk about this. I got to get ready to go to some other engagements, and I will be talking to y'all as I am staying in my hotel across this beautiful nation of ours, all right? So make sure y'all hit the like button before y'all get out of here again. Please hit that like button right now if you can, so this video can be circulate within the YouTube algorithm, all right? Really, really appreciate that. I see that right there where it says the 5,000 year leap, read it. I got that book, actually. So again, y'all, appreciate y'all all being here. I will catch y'all on the next one. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all.